It is game day in Terre Haute, Thursday night opener for the Missouri Valley Football Conference for Indiana State and UNI. It's the Panthers from Northern Iowa. I'm Luke Martin alongside Brian Fritz. We'll have the call for you on WIBQ 97.9 tonight with Countdown the Kickoff starting at 6. Fritzy, a week ago, or really now 2 weeks ago, as we were talking about Eastern Illinois, we brought up the recent dominance in the series by the Panthers of Eastern Illinois. When you look at this series, it's basically identical, specifically these last three games. It has been all Northern Iowa outscoring Indiana State 139-22.
It has been, and this is a great measuring stick for, I think, how much better this football team is this year than a year ago. Obviously, the Northern Iowa game was the last game on the schedule a year ago and kind of the last taste that the guys that came back had in their mouths. And, certainly they channeled that into an off-season full of hard work and, as a unit have gotten considerably better. I think this will be a real measuring stick tonight as to how much better, and I'm anxious to see them. The Eastern Illinois game was a really good win. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm with the team right now. I like the Thursday night, too. I know that, we've got some tailgating going on outside, some radio remotes. There's all kinds of stuff going on out here today. I sort of really like this Thursday night when you're at home and not the team that's traveling. But I like this Thursday night atmosphere.
I think a big part of this game tonight, too, it can be a talking point, I think, for media, I think does get overblown. UNI did travel today. They flew in today. They're going to fly out later tonight. They've had 5 games in between games, where Indiana State basically has had 2 weeks. Knowing Indiana State believes they've improved in the battle of the line of scrimmage in the offensive line and defensive lines, I'll be interested to see if Indiana State can use that rest to their advantage tonight.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the travel aspect of it is a big deal because it's different. It's not what a team customarily does, and I think anytime you talk with any coaches, any time a routine is a little bit different, there's, I don't know if concern's the right word, but you're certainly aware of the fact that something is different. So, that'll be something that they'll, have to cope with in tonight's ball game. And for Indiana State, I think that with having the bye week and having this game sort of almost in the middle of the bye week and creating, in essence, 2 longer periods where you get to prepare for games, I think fits well for this team and for this roster. And, I think this is a real good point in our schedule to have a Thursday night game, given the opportunity presented itself. And, credit to both schools for, agreeing to play it and do that. And I just think it's going to be a good atmosphere tonight.
There's no question. You brought up, there's improvement made with this Indiana State program because you've already won 2 games where a year ago you didn't win a single game. And last year we were going, you should be 2-1. Instead, you're 0-3 with those missed opportunities in the Liberty game and Eastern Illinois game a year ago. But when you look at tonight, what do you believe, Fritzy, are going to be the differences if Indiana State wants to win tonight and show how much they've closed the gap, or maybe still show that there's still a ways to go to be able to compete in this league?
Well, the first thing, and both these units have been better this season, but the offensive and defensive lines have been big areas that have been better for this football team. This is going to be the first. Louisville obviously was a big opponent, but this is going to be the first really good conference test and probably the best measuring stick where you would hope physically we're able to match up. Northern Iowa, along with North Dakota State, South Dakota State, historically one of the most physical teams in our conference. So, how Indiana State is able to do up front at the line of scrimmage, I think on both sides of the ball, goes a real long way towards answering your question. And then, to me, the Sycamores have had some great returns, but overall there have been some errors in special teams. You have got to be solid in all 3 aspects of the game against a team like Northern Iowa. You can't give up big plays in special teams. You've got to take care of the ball on offense, and you've got to create some turnovers on defense.
We'll see if the Sycamores can do that tonight and to build off of it a year ago. When you look at the Missouri Valley Conference football games for Indiana State, not one game was within 1 possession at halftime. So can the Sycamores compete tonight and make it interesting? We'll have the call again. The Pepsi Countdown, the kickoff starts at 6 o'clock with kickoff roughly around 7:05 at Memorial Stadium. We hope you can join us out at Memorial Stadium, too. For my partner, Brian Fritz, I am Luke Martin. Enjoy the game tonight. Go Sycamores. Beat UNI.